happened to, their missing protester or even relative. Meanwhile, there has been international condemnation of Wednesday.
The Most High got him howling. Hey man, at the end of the day, man, they sold us into slavery, okay? The Most High is visiting them, man. It's beautiful, really, if you look at it. All of this stuff that's going on worldwide, man, this is the coming of the Lord to show you, and all these people are going to pay, man. There's payment that has to happen, man. Okay?
It was an extraordinary show of force from the security forces, and notably the US has condemned it in multiple statements. President Obama himself cancelled a joint military exercise between the US and Egypt, saying after this very bloody event on Wednesday, Secretary of State John Kerry said it was a deplorable action. The EU as well has condemned it, among many other countries, including Turkey, France, Denmark, Pakistan, Afghanistan. It's really been a kind of collective show of anger against the Egyptian government as this bloody events continue.
Right, RT's Beltrou reporting for us live in Cairo, where mass protests are expected despite the violence, the massacre, like you say, we saw on Wednesday. Bell, stay safe. We will certainly be in touch with you throughout the day. Well, the military has been using live ammunition, as we've heard from Bell, since this latest bout of unrest kicked off. More shocking footage of civilians being fired on has emerged online. You can see several men helping each other, another person, I should say, who appears to be wounded here. Several gunshots then heard in the background, and when one of the men picked up the man he was just carrying, wounded there. Also reports that a British cameraman has reportedly died after being shot by a sniper while filming. RT's Paula Sleer visited a mosque where many of the bodies are being brought to and heard first-hand accounts of the clampdown.
After every battle, there's a reckoning. This is where the tally for this week's deadly clashes is taking place. Here in the Imam Mosque, where the bodies of the dead and burnt are being brought.
And it was here, finally, where Sophia Helmi Mohammed found her son. She learnt on Facebook the 23-year-old had been killed. She tried in vain to get through sniper fire to reach the Rabaa Adawiya Mosque, where he'd been camping for weeks.
He died from 2 bullets. One was in his heart. The army claims the protesters had weapons, but it was a peaceful sit-in. The police killed him. They were standing on top of the roofs. They burned some of the bodies and burned some people alive.
It was Egypt's most bloody day of violence since the revolution 2.5 years ago.
Let's get some scripture real quick. This is the book of Proverbs 29 and 2. I'll show you what's happening real quick. This is the book of Proverbs 29 verse 2. And it says, when the righteous are in authority, what's authority? Rulership, okay? Power. When the righteous are in power, alright? When the righteous are in power, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Alright? And this people right here is talking about everyone, okay? It's not talking about just Israel. When we rule in the kingdom, yeah, these other heathens are going to be under subjection, but we're going to be ruling righteously. We're going to be putting a righteous foot in their ass, and they're going to know it. But now when the wicked is Esau, okay? The wicked are you Edomites. The wicked is in rulership right now with your ruling banking family, starting with the Rothschilds and on down. DuPonts, Gettys, Oppenheimers, okay? All these ruling class families that are orchestrating this, because you just had Bohemian Grove. This is all a part of their end game. So these people are all mourning now because you have wickedness that rules the world, man. Because all this is strategic moves for them. All right, they're trying to. This is to further their agenda, but the people are mourning through that. Okay, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Whosoever loveth wisdom rejoices his father, but he that keepeth company with that's it on that. But that's going into the fact that the people are mourning, and we're shortly about to come into our power, and where we're going to be rejoicing, but also our rulership is going to be righteous, man.
But not his wife.
Yeah,
she was
you
among
gotta
the
see
hundreds
this part.
killed.
This motherfucker, He saved his so-called Quran, but not his wife. Where was his power then?
Egypt's most bloody day of violence since the revolution 2.5 years ago. This old man managed to save his Quran, but not his wife. She was among the hundreds killed, many of them burnt beyond recognition. Tears of anguish against the backdrop of angry demonstrations.
I think that's why Marshal Sisi obeyed the people when they go to the street in the Jones Circus. I think he said that I listen and I'm obeying the will of the Egyptian people who went to the street. How about these people who stay in the street for 47 days? Then their prize and their gift is to kill them.
Dr. Mohammed Mahmoud was on duty when the first casualties started coming in. Within hours, he treated several dozen patients. Their wounds were worse than anything he'd seen before, marking a turning point, he says, from which there is no return.
The Egyptian army usually defend people. That's what we know, the Egyptian army. Even in our religion, we have some prophets.
This is Job 34:30, and it says that the hypocrite reign not, lest the people be ensnared. Alright? The hypocrite is Esau, because he'll tell you one thing, but then behind he wants another thing done. Or he'll do another thing. Okay? So you got a rulership right now, where it's double standards. Alright, so Job 34:30, that the hypocrite reign not, lest the people be ensnared. So right now Egypt is ensnared, man. It's in a trap. It's in chaos. It's collapsing on itself.
Not to kill his own people, the Egyptians. Always our history with the Egyptian army is to defend us, not to kill us. That's why I'm saying this is a very bad and black chapter.
The accusations and counter-accusations are heating up. Each side blames the other for
Slovakia. So with that, I'm gonna finish this. Let me get Matthews real quick. This is the book of Matthews. It's the book of Matthews 10 and 21. And it says, 24. Book of Matthew 24:7, and it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So we're in that time, man. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.
unprovoked excessive violence. The army stands accused of firing at unarmed protesters, while the Brotherhood is feared for spreading violence.
Anything is possible now.
Unfortunately,
in every